Alright, here's the third part of our video, hopefully the last part. So we're going to take our unit here, and what you'll notice is when you look at the bottom here, you're going to see the top head part is going to be pushed way back here. So what you have to do is, using your finger, push the head forward and hold it there, and with your other hand you want to put the unit in and spin it a little bit until it clicks. There you go. And it should be in there firmly. You can always tell because the tab will be facing the circuit board, the one with your markings on it. And then you can slowly release the piece here, the head unit, and it should stay right up there. Or it might stay a little bit inside, but as long as it's up in this area, it's fine. Then what you'll do is you'll put in your 3 screws here, and you will attempt to put your belt back on. Now this is, once again, this part is a little difficult as well. Keeping your circuit board out of the way. If you're pretty good, you can get it on the first try. If not, it'll take you a couple of tries. But using your smaller screwdriver, what you want to do is pull the belt and get it to the point where it's just around the pulley, and then pull it out. Now you'll have it adjusted to, it'll be firmly around your pulley, it'll be fully around the bottom part here, and there shouldn't be any problems with it. What might happen is this belt might be, at first, it might be a little bit too tight. If that is the case, what you can do is you can push out on it just a little bit. Don't do it too much, or you'll make the belt way too loose, and you'll have to go through these steps all over again. But the way you can tell if it's too tight or not is when you put it back together. Adjustments and stuff are very simple once you get this part on. So for now, just leave it. Don't worry about it. And with your circuit board, remember the switches that were on here. This is the only one, but there's 3. When you put it back together, you have to make sure that the switches go through the bottom here, and they connect in the right places. Now, if I get my other one here, you can see it a little bit better, what I'm talking about. So we have our one switch here. There is another switch which is in through here, and it's actually behind this white tab. So there's a switch up in there. You got to make sure that the switch is behind the white tab. If it's not behind it, then you'll have problems. So make sure you get it behind there, and make sure this one comes up through here smoothly. There's no problems there. So once you get that done, you can put your screws back in. So you'll put in your 3 screws here, and then you can put your cover back on, and make sure the holes line up. For this, what I recommend for the testing phase is just put one screw in. The reason why is if the belt is too tight, you don't want to have to go taking all the screws out again. It'll just cause you a lot of trouble. So just put 1 screw in, and then with your unit, you can leave this part off. That's not a big deal. Make sure to plug it back in here. Once you get it plugged in, you're going to want to go and make sure your eject button's up. And we'll use this one here. And on the inside here you can see the post. Slowly, using your thumb on this one, try to rotate the spindle to where you can see your mark that we made. Alright. So on the inside there you can see the black dot. And from there, what you'll do is we'll take our Krub screw and our Allen wrench here, and looking at the back here, there's a spring, and make sure that the spring pushes down here. If you put it in upside down, the disc will never read. It'll never be able to sit firmly in place. You could cause damage to your disc. So make sure when you put it in, this part goes down, and that's going to be the top part. So you want that to be your top. And then using the same way that we had it before, we want to slide it in and be careful with it and slowly lower it on. And if by any chance you have problems with it, you can always take it back out again with your pliers or with your tweezers. And then you don't want to tighten it too fast. Just tighten it slowly, and you can wiggle it back and forth until you feel it catch in the hole. And then once you feel it catch, just give it a little bit of a turn. Don't give it too much. Don't give it a full crank. If you give it too much of a turn, what you'll wind up doing is you'll wind up making the post itself go on an angle, or it won't sit flat. So when your disc goes in, it'll be on an angle like this, and it'll try and read it, and you'll have a disc read error. Just make sure you have it a little bit snug, and it should be flat. And when you go to put your disc back in there, it should be all set and ready to go. So the last step is, if you want to, using a cotton swab Q-tip, you can lightly go over this if it looks dirty. Don't go over it too hard, and don't go over it too many times. Just lightly go over it and clean it off. Yeah, then put it back together and turn it on. And if when you turn it on, if this is going very slowly, it means that your belt is too tight. So you can always flip it back over, and you can push in a little bit or push out a little bit, and then put it back together again. If it's really, really tight, you can pull on it a little bit to stretch it out, and then stretch it out a little bit more, and then put it back together. And with a little bit of tinkering, you can get it to go and fire up. It might take you about an hour, but it'll still be worth it, and a lot cheaper, a lot faster than getting a belt through the mail. So anyway, that's how you can fix a Famicom disc. So hopefully it helps.